Ready? We go? All right. Hello, everyone. So, this session is about bringing Drupal and Mautic closer together. So, it's two open source communities. And let me first introduce myself. I'm Dominique. I've been in the Drupal community for quite some time now. Discovered Mautic about 6 years ago. It exists for like 8-9 years. I see similarities. My background is software engineering, but I think since 2015 I didn't write any code anymore. Since then I've been running Dropsolid, which is an open DXP company. So we're a product-led services company from Belgium. So I'm mostly involved more in the business side of things. So this presentation will be more community business than a technical presentation. First, who knows what Mautic is? Not everyone, so it's good. It's good. I'm giving this presentation for over a year now, and I still see, if I go to the Drupal camps, a lot of people that not have heard of Mautic and what it actually does. So it's also good to see, okay, what actually is it? So Mautic is an open source marketing automation project. So it basically helps to automate business processes to communicate with your stakeholders. So for me, it's also more than a marketing automation platform. It's a communication automation platform. It helps you to build your community. So it has a lot of features in. We will see a little bit what's inside. And immediately you can see a couple of companies there that are also active in the Drupal community. So also there on the business level, you will see some similarities. Now let's look at its community. So it is a lot smaller than the Drupal community. Like, to give you an idea, here it's growing 200 members every 90 days, but it's growing. It's 30K active installs, should have changed that. It's 40K in the meanwhile. It's growing pretty fast right now. Who's involved? Like, all these things, you can follow it up in the community dashboard. So it's very transparent community who is contributing. So you see the little logos, but you probably recognize some companies that are also active in the Drupal community. At least in the top 5, I can already spot 3 companies who are active in Drupal community. And then you see its growth. So it started out, if I look, 2014. So that's 8 years, 10 years ago almost, by the end of this year. And the total number is like 40,000 at the moment. For installs, like active installs. Like it would be like if you go to the Drupal usage page, that's what you would see. And you see it growing with the concept of marketing automation, who has gained ground. Like the big one in that business ecosystem is HubSpot. They're a 13 billion valuation company on the New York Stock Exchange. So they captured like a lot of market there. And then you have the open source variant, which is Mautic. Mautic purely at the moment focuses on marketing automation, while the HubSpot ecosystem has already also expanded in CMS territory, CRM, customer service, chatbots, whatnot, like you see in other ecosystems, like for example in the Salesforce, etc. And I'm very excited about this growth, because in the last year, it took 7 years to get to 20,000, but it took only 1 year to go to 40,000. Yeah. Now, let's look at the community a little bit further. How is it run? So it uses the open startup model. Everything is transparent. They use the Open Collective to be their fiscal host. I just heard that they are dissolving. Actually, didn't know that, so it's pretty new. So also the Mautic community will also have to go to another physical host. The Mautic 5 is released, and every month they're doing like a really transparent update on where things are going. Now, I don't know how many of you are longer than 15 years here in the Drupal community? 15 years, 15 years? You remember the Drupal days back in 2007, 2008, before all the growth happened? Like, I was in India at MautiCon, which was a couple of weeks ago in Pune, and I kind of had that same vibe there, like in the beginning of the Drupal community. To give you an idea, if you want to contribute something, although I don't contribute any code anymore, but I know this because our director of engineering at Dropsolid is the product team lead of Mautic, and yeah, you can get stuff merged in like days and weeks in the core. So in Drupal, yeah, it's rare to have your code merged that quickly. So it's evolving really quickly, and this is really exciting. So, and in India, you also saw the Indian community supporting the ecosystem a lot, because it makes marketing automation also accessible to companies and organizations which are not in the price tier of a HubSpot. Like a HubSpot, you pay at least like 5-10K a year, depending on how much discounts you get. A Mautic, you can spin it up and host it even on a shared hosting. Yeah. So it's accessible to a lot of businesses that want to connect and build their community. Now, how does it compare to the Drupal community? Like, look, yeah, the Drupal community is more than 1 million, 8,500 active contributors. So that's a lot of people, still growing with 2,000 users a month. But on the other hand, the number of installs is declining, as we all know, from the peak in 2017, 1.2 million installs towards, like, I think, end of 780K. I think I looked a couple of days ago, 780K active installs. Yeah, really moved into the enterprise segment, Drupal. So yeah, more bigger sites, but less sites, but still a growing community. Now, Mautic, what does it do? It does a lot of things that you don't do with the CMS. Yeah. If you look at it, it has contact management. What's contact management? So if you're on a website, you're clicking things, you're selecting things, you're having a journey as an anonymous user, and you have accepted the cookies, all that stuff is being tracked. So it's being tracked in a database. And once you identify yourself, so somewhere in the journey, you give your email address, then you're not anonymous anymore. All that history becomes available in that system. No? So you can obviously see why this is useful for marketers designing web experiences, because they can start to segment these audiences. So segmenting different customer segments, making sure you are targeting the right user with the right content. It makes a big difference on any digital experience that you are making. And like Mautic has a really, I think, a simple but very complete rule builder that allows you to build all these segments based on that captured traffic. And then, of course, once you have the segments, you want to see, okay, who's active in those segments, who is scoring. There's a whole lead scoring, nurturing system in it. And this you can configure. So you know actually like, okay, these people I need to send an email, or this one I don't have to send an email. And then they have an email builder, fully, it's JavaScript-based drag and drop email builder, which allows you to build emails from really simple emails to all the way to personalized emails with dynamic content based on what you know about the user. You can even, if you start to integrate with your CMS, and that's what we at Dropsolid did, like integrate the Drupal with the Mautic, pull in content from your Drupal site and generate email experiences from this. And use the automatic scoring to distribute all that content to the right user. So you're not building web experiences only, you're also building email experiences. A lot of communication still goes through email, and you can also do the same with SMSs, and if you can come up with other channels, you can also plug them in. Now, then of course marketers need reporting, so there's also a full reporting functionality. It's still a bit technical. You need to, for the more complex reports, you have to be a little bit knowledgeable about using the query language to get your reports, but it's really powerful. And then I think the most powerful feature that you have in Mautic is the multi-step campaign builder. So the multi-step campaign builder allows you to do like these drip campaigns or push users through a certain journey based on a certain path that you put in there. And this, you can personalize these journeys as well. I think that's a very powerful builder, and has been one of the successes why it has such an adoption, because if you use the free version of something like HubSpot, for example, you don't get that. In Mautic, you install it, you get like a really powerful feature, where in a proprietary system you have to pay like 5 to 10K a year for that, so you can immediately see why it got that adoption. And then there's the form builder. Form builder allows you to build your forms, to plug them in your landing pages. Also these ones personalizable, so very interesting form builder. And then the preference center where you can build fully GDPR compliant solutions, where you can tie it in with your cookie policies and make sure you're doing everything according to the compliance. And then, of course, you embed it in the website. If you look at it's as simple as installing a module in Drupal, and it allows you to plug it into your website. And you have forms for your marketing automation system. So how is Drupal currently connecting with the Drupal ecosystem? So there's one module, is the Mautic integration module. You just install it and you configure your forms. There's also the Mautic paragraph module. It's something Dropsolid contributed. This allows you to use the Mautic forms inside your paragraphs, so it makes it easy. If your site's using paragraphs, you can use it. And if you look at the other contrib that we have here, we have the web form Mautic, cookie Mautic, the commerce Mautic, Mautic forms. They all come with their different installation features, which allows you to easily set it up with your CMS. So now that you know what Mautic is, how does it compare with the Drupal community? Why is it so powerful in combination with the CMS? Well, actually, if you take Mautic and Drupal, you have the most minimal version of what a DXP could be. So then what is a DXP? No, it's not another name for a CMS to sell it better. It's not old wine in new bags. It is actually something new, because The biggest difference is that in CMS, we do not capture data about the user. We store content, we have users, but we're actually not tracking what the user is doing with that content. And that's where a DXP comes in. A DXP is not just content management, but is content plus data. And of course, this makes it very valuable because then you're able to build a customer-centric digital experience. That's why it's called a digital experience platform. If your CMS has the capability of capturing the data of the user and make use of it. And combine it with other data sources, you know, from the CRM or from the ERP, and combine it with your product information, and then send it through all your channels. And then, of course, you gain insights, and those insights you trigger actions, and this way you create this virtual cycle where you have your user engaging more and more with your experience, which becomes a business case that is very valuable for a lot of businesses. So they invest in it. So the DXP is the content plus the data packaged in one system, and you might think like, okay, I can just set up a CMS and a marketing automation and do the integration all myself. And of course, that's totally true. However, a lot of customers tend to look for the combination of both because those integrations all look good in theory, but if you see years down the road, a lot of these things actually don't happen. So get them to buy in at a higher point in the value chain by getting them on the DXP. Make sure that you can unlock the business cases of actually delivering more value in the form of operational efficiencies, longer customer lifetime values, decreased customer acquisition costs. And to do this, you need more than content, you also need the data. And that's what the DXP brings in one package. And you see, to actually qualify as a DXP, it's a definition. It's a definition called by Gartner, so they keep a magic quadrant and critical capabilities. You can look that up. But basically, you need to tick off some boxes and bring in some capabilities. And Drupal is at the homepage of Drupal is being sold as an open DXP, but actually, if we are critical about this, it's not. It's a basis for a DXP, for an open DXP, but in itself, it's not a DXP. Like, it does not have the ability to capture data from the customer, to build campaigns, to do personalization, to do lead scoring, all these things. It's not there, not out of the box. And even with Contrib, you need to tie in multiple other systems to actually make Drupal worthy of being called a DXP. So in essence, it's still a CMS, which can be expanded to a DXP through integrations. If we visualize this very, very simply, to get to a DXP, you need not only the experience layer and the content management layer, but you also need the data layer. And if you look how Drupal does this, for example, this is an example of composing a DXP. That's how we did it at Dropsolid. So we have Drupal as a CMS, Mautic as a marketing automation, Unomi as a customer data platform, and then pick your favorite analytics tool to visualize all the data, like your Data Studio or Matomo or whatever you have, and you have a DXP. And that's what I call composable. Yeah, it's a bit of an overused term, and it's used on multiple levels. Is used on the level of the applications itself, so it means you could swap out another marketing automation system. But even it means composable. Drupal itself is also composable. The 40 or it's already 50K extension module ecosystem, you could also call that a composable. So it's being used all over the place on multiple levels, but you could call this a composable DXP. And one of my points that I want to make is that you could actually use Mautic as a simple CDP, a very simple CDP, a customer data platform. What does a customer data platform do? It brings in different data sources you know about your users and then use it to personalize your experiences. So how does that work? If you want to do this, like for example, if you want to install Mautic, you install a JavaScript on your website, which is doing all the tracking once you approve the cookies. So it captures all the behavior, builds valuable segments, and then you use these segments to build emails or build different call to actions based on how you do that. And then you can you use it in your emails. Based on your segment, you send your users different emails, you show them different call to actions, and everybody gets a personalized experience. And then you visualize it in your data studio. I'm making it sound very simple all. To get, but actually to get the customer to this level and work with it, it does require some, how would I say it? Selling is not maybe the right word, but evangelizing is maybe a better word to bring it in in a company. That's why you see it not being used in all the development shops in the Drupal ecosystem, because it requires a bit of a culture change in your company. You start to bring in more marketing people, more UX, UI people who are building journeys. We call it at Dropsolid, we call it experience architects. And it's a collection of people, of marketing people who design these journeys and use these tools and integrate it, and they live together with our developer population. And we've been working on that for like 4 or 5 years, and it took some time to really get everybody on the same page and like make everybody understand, like, okay, what is this about? Is personalization really so valuable? Well, it appears it is. Because we have some cases as well. So where did we apply it? Like, for example, we use it on government sites. Like Mautic is like really strong in government, non-profit. Why is that? Because you're sending mails to millions of people. If you are sending mails to millions of people, just go to HubSpot.com and select, I want to send 1 million mails, and see what you are going to pay as a license. Like if you want to have 1 million contacts or 10 million contacts in your database, it's going to be like really, really, really expensive. So Mautic open source marketing automation is a really good choice for government. We use it for the Tourism Flanders, which is the government agency for tourism. Or for example, this case, it's a lab with a lot of different industries. So we actually send 7,000 different emails every day. And we use the CMS to compose the content and send it to these people. And what happened? When we did it, they did the normal campaigns. And what we see is that the engagement actually doubled. Like normal open rates, if you look at MailChimp, it's like overall 20% open rate. Once we start personalizing, it was 40%. So we could directly tie that back to a business case, like the customer having double of the engagement through the emails, which obviously also translated in more and more focused business as well for them. Also here, a lot of contacts in the database, which made it very interesting for them. This one as well, Boerenbond, is it's the non-profit for the farmers. Also for non-profits, especially non-profits who have a lot of members collecting a low value, like how many non-profits have donations of 3-5 euros a month. So it's like you cannot make the business case there of okay, you buy a HubSpot, you send a million of contacts in the database. So every user is 10 cents. So and then you pay your license for 100,000. It's not that simple. If your user is only giving you a couple of euros, then you're already giving away a lot of your margins. So again, for non-profit, Mautic is a very strong case to start using it. And then, of course, especially in non-profits who have a lot of different stakeholders. So a farmer that does fruit trees is not a farmer that is raising pigs. So it's like they want to personalize the experience for all their different members. So multi-stakeholder, multi-user contacts are very good cases for the DXP and for Mautic as a marketing automation platform. Now, what would be the benefit of bringing the communities closer to each other? We heard Dries talk in his Dries notes like that he wants to contribute to the open web with Drupal. Well, if you look at the open web, we do see a lot of players that actually compose the open web. So it's not only Drupal, it's not even only the other CMSs like WordPress and all the others, but it's also platforms like open source marketing automation. They also have a valuable place in the open web. And I think Drupal and Mautic are especially a match made in heaven because they share a lot of similarities. And how could we bring it together? So I think first of all, the most easy one is develop together. If you want a big engineering challenge as a developer and you want to make impact and you want to be able to bring your stuff into core quickly, which in Drupal would take some time, in Mautic, that's still possible. Like I said, it's like going back in time, 15, 16, 17 years, in the days where Drupal was still a young project and growing. You could contribute much easier and make a lot more impact. So if you want to do that, there's a Mautic Slack, and Matthias, our director of engineering at Dropsolid, he's the project lead. We're doing a lot of work on making it easier to bring new contributors into the Mautic community. But my message is like it's really easy to make an impact, and the engineering challenges are still quite high. So as a developer, you can really show off your work and make an impact. Then I don't know who of you has an agency or owns an agency or is responsible for business development in an agency. 1, 2. You could sell it together. Yeah. This is how we sell it in Dropsolid. So that's what we show our customers. Like we say, like, look, we're not just a Drupal shop, which we used to be. We not only sell you CMS and custom integrations, but we sell you a digital experience. We sell you multiple projects, multiple products combined in one service. We have the digital experience strategy. The integration services, how our company started 10 years ago. We bring you the platform and then also the compliance. Why would you do that? Well, it will make your value proposition much more robust. It would also diversify you a lot more, and it would also allow you to really make the business case with the customer. Because I used to sell like custom Drupal solutions, and then your pitch is basically like, okay, we're gonna deliver quality work, the coding is going to be good, the maintenance is going to be low, we're going to go fast, we are experts what you are doing, and that's all good if you're talking to people who understand that. But if you want to go higher up in an organization, yeah, they want to know how they are going to make money, yeah. So and then it's much more easier to come with a concept like the DXP, and for Drupal and Mautic, bringing them together, and especially if you're already a Drupal shop, Mautic is also written in PHP. It applies a lot of the same principles. Okay, it might be a bit challenging to get developers to be excited to work on marketing technology. You could also call it communication technology. In fact, the Drupal CMS is also just that. It's also communication. It's also marketing technology. So it's not that different. But we experienced that it took some time to get the culture going, to be able to sell it together. But being able to sell it together, you can bring it higher in with your customers. And then, yeah, of course, like I said, you can build it together. It's the same type of developers who are behind it. So I would love to see the Drupal community contribute to Mautic. And then maybe a very simple way to get started with it is to start using it yourself. If you're a Drupal agency, and you want to do your own marketing, why not use an open source marketing automation platform? Why not integrate it with your own Drupal and just try it out? Like in a couple of weeks, we'll have the free trials live on Mautic.org. So Drop is also doing that for the Mautic community, where we're providing the free trials globally on our cloud platform. And we're doing a revenue share there, so every paying customer, 40% will go to the community, 60% will go to Drop to increase the adoption of Mautic. So in a couple of weeks, it will be super easy. You just go in and you will do a product tour, and you will see how it works in real time. And then of course you can export it and put it on your own hosting, or you can just continue with on the cloud platform, and then you're also sponsoring the community. But using it for yourself, it's I think it's one of the best ways to try it out and get some people their hands dirty with it. So we come to the conclusion. Why bring Mautic and Drupal communities together? I think Drupal has a much more bigger development power behind it than the Mautic community. The Mautic community could definitely use that power to like build its feature richness and make it more robust. I think the Mautic brings the missing piece that Drupal needs to become a DXP. So this would also bring a new breed of people, more marketer, business-oriented people. If you look at the Mautic community, you see this balance between business-oriented and developer-oriented, technically community more in balance, while in Drupal you see is like 80-90% is technically. Yeah, I think out of the box it can beat a lot of proprietary stacks if you get out there. And the proprietary stacks, they actually exactly offer this, all of the out of the box product, which promise the customer a lot of return on investment. You bring that same story by combining the Drupal with the Mautic. So, develop together, sell it together, build it together, and market it together. That's how we can bring these two communities closer to each other and increase the power of the open web. So, thank you all, and questions? But go ahead.
What about data protection for the users? Because
GDPR?
You will say, collect a lot of information about users, and how do they accept it, and that you're not getting into legal problems?
Yeah, so this is managed in your cookie policy, which ties in your preference center. So yeah, you have to set it up so it's GDPR compliant. You have to ask permission to be tracked, and then once you get the email address, you have the preference center where the user can manage what you are sending him, how you are using his data. So yeah, it has the capabilities of managing that. You could do it wrong, but yeah.
So is Mautic 100% cookie based, or it's because at the moment there is like kind of the what will happen with cookies? There's like push by Google to take them away. How are they tied? And if something happened to cookie, can we switch to something else?
Well, it's not a third-party cookie. It's actually it's first-party data that you are collecting on your own domain. So the thing with Google is mostly focused on the third-party cookies. So where data collected on other domains, like for example, if the Facebook knows stuff about you and they sell it to, but if you're afraid of the cookie thing going on, then you should even do it more, the marketing automation and the customer data, because you're actually collecting, you're doing what Facebook is doing. Yeah. You're building your own customer data for your own customers. And I'm surprised, like we've been doing it for a couple of years, but there's like tens of thousands email addresses. Like, I think it's crazy because we are a small company, or only 85 people, that so many people download stuff and leave their data. If we look at the contact database, and it's nurturing that database, so it's like you have an extra salesperson in your organization who is working on the user. So yeah, especially with the third party data, you want to collect your own data.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You. So using Mautic as a CDP, so basically you show that there's JavaScript-based tracking is on the website.
Yeah.
How well would it work with different kind of interfaces? Let's say that you have you want to get them not only from the website, but you have an website plus e-commerce plus Android application or something. I don't know, like maybe even brick and mortar store where you want to get like information about the user actions. So would you be able to do that with Mautic only?
You would be able to apply the same tracking code over there as well. Of course, once you get to more complex use cases, what I said is the most minimalistic version of a CDP, which basically captures anonymous data, website behavior. But once it gets more complex, you should switch to like a real CDP. That's why we also use Unomi in the stack, where the functionality is actually there to connect multiple data streams. So to get you started and to tick off the minimal boxes to collect data, you would be able to call yourself that you are a DXP. But once you get to the more complex use cases, yeah, you have to start using a real CDP. Also for scaling, like the Unomi is a Java-based application. It scales really well. Yeah.
But you would be able to use Mautic, for example, if you have multiple websites.
Yeah.
For example,
You can send it. You can send it to the same instance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
All right. Thank you very much.